I'm the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is your 2020 overview for Libra Sun, Libra Rising, or Libra Moon. So, what is it that you are meant to leave in the past, Libra? This would be an attitude or a situation that it's time to let go of. You have the Moon, Hanged Man, and transformation. For some of you, maybe you're waiting for something that is offering security for you. You may be waiting on a child, waiting to have a child, waiting to become a mother, waiting to work through some kind of emotional issues that may tie to uncertainty or deception or some kind of compulsion or obsession. And you're waiting for some changes. You may feel emotionally out of sync with others, and maybe you have felt that in the past. There's some psychological issues that you need to dive deeply into. You need to delve into your own psyche about some past conditioning that may be, some form of residue from your childhood or from past relationships. There's something that you're not clearly seeing. And maybe you're waiting in vain for something. But it's time for you to take off any rose-colored glasses and see things for what they are. Yourself, other people. Because there is a tendency for some kind of deception here. Whether that's you're making yourself a willing victim of others, you're putting yourself in vulnerable positions where you can be taken advantage of, or you are fooling yourself in some way. And it could be that, maybe you're waiting for your life to change. Maybe you have some financial concerns that are weighing heavily on you to the point that they're now impacting your health. It's taking a physical toll. Because something about your circumstances from the past that you need to leave there says that you haven't been on solid footing. There's some fluctuations, and maybe you've been just hanging around waiting for something to change rather than being proactive. You should have gained some kind of enlightenment from something that came to light, something that was secret or hidden or, behind the scenes. You're having to take a fresh perspective, and it could be looking at some measure of sacrifice. What is appropriate to sacrifice? Is something worth sacrificing for, or are you just investing in something that's not going to really give you a return? So it's looking at something from a spiritual point of view. Maybe you need to, make some kind of transformation in what your spiritual views are, or something emotionally, or something psychologically. But you are looking at issues of security. And there was a need for transformation. A change, an ending of some sort has occurred. Now, what do you need to let go of in the future? This would be a mindset, or a resentment that you're holding, or an ideal that may be misplaced, or other situations you need to let go of to achieve your desired outcome. You have the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and Adventure. So you may be struggling to gain control or to hold on to something, and you're holding on for dear life. In the future, maybe you're struggling with something that connects to property or your possessions, your assets, your money, or your heart. And maybe, you're afraid of rocking the boat. You're struggling with holding on to something and being ultra conservative, acting out of fear. For some of you, there may be a strong tie to a Capricorn person. What to leave in the past. This could be waiting for some kind of transformation to take place. It may tie to a Pisces, or it could be a Cancer. But you are struggling with something, and maybe you need to allow more of an adventure to take place. It could be that you're protecting yourself and withdrawing, and you've literally fallen down a rabbit hole and you're not accessible. So you're struggling with your security. And this would be a good time for you to cautiously explore opportunities, but also to be more grounded, more practical. Perhaps you've been waiting for some change, but you're not really seeing some things clearly because you're resistant to change. You're struggling with that because you have this inner conflict within yourself. Maybe you are struggling between the idea of being free or seeking adventure, or holding on to what's safe, what provides security for you, and becoming very miserly in that process. So you're going to have to guard against being selfish, being fearful, being greedy, being too conservative, or knowing when you should be more practical, be more grounded. And you may be coming with others in order to solve some kind of problem. So you're struggling with conservatism in yourself, in others. It could be, cynicism, fear based on the material. And so you need to let go of that struggle. You need to get more clear on what it is that you want, what it is that makes you feel good. Because until you do that, you may find that you're lashing out at people unnecessarily and the wrong people. Now, what do you need to take from the past? This would be a past mindset or a quality that is working for you and that you should continue to leverage into the future. So you have the Two of Wands and the King of Swords with passion. So this is a review of your passion. What is it that drives you? Your passion with other people. And passion can be sexual, it can be anger. So you're having to do a review of handling things more effectively. Perhaps removing a bit of the passion to become more logical. This is a king who solves problems. He's solution oriented. And he's able to detach. He's interested in fairness, in justice. And using the strength of his intellect, his analytical skills to review situations. So you may need to review your involvement with others, whether it's sexual, what your passion is, finding your passion, following your bliss. There's some opportunities. You may, have the world in your hands, but you know that perhaps there's something more out there and you're looking at that. So you're going to have to think about whether you want to join forces with other people, whether you want to travel, what kind of job opportunities you're looking for, effective ways to prove your point in a situation, or if there's been some deception, ways that you can clear yourself, let people see who you really are, the strength of your character. And this is about paying attention to the facts, listening to your instincts, going with your gut, using your personal power to support a vision. But you have to know what that vision is. So you're doing some kind of review. Now, maybe you're getting some advice. You're getting some counsel from somebody who has more information or knowledge than you do. So you may be connecting with authority figures or people who hold the power to make decisions, and possibly decisions that will change your life or your destiny. For some of you, this may be in the form of professional advice. Could be, someone you trust, a father figure. It could be somebody medical. Maybe you're connecting with a surgeon, especially if you're dealing with some kind of issues that connect to mental or emotional or physical health. So you're doing some kind of a review. And what you need to take from the past is that ability to use your logic, use your intelligence to handle things more effectively in support of your passion. Now, that may mean in some cases cutting people off or dealing with situations where perhaps you feel cut off. So you're doing some kind of review, and you're going to, again, have to know who you are and where you stand. This is an Aries card, very action-oriented, forward movement in your own self-interest and for yourself, but not to the degree that you become selfish. Now, you have to know what you want and be willing to go after it, because other people are competitive and maybe you're dealing with some strong competition. And so you're going to have to deal with something more effectively. You're going to have a strategy. You're going to have to come up with solutions. Because if you don't, other people will step into your opportunity. They will take what is yours. And if you're not sure of yourself or your footing, you will place yourself in a vulnerable position where you're exploited, where you're self-sabotaging, where you lose your confidence and they intimidate or manipulate you. So what you need to take from the past is the ability to review situations analytically, objectively, again, in support of your passions, or where, passion is needed or needed to be tempered in some way. Now, what can you use in the future? Again, a past or current gift or a mindset that you need to play up to achieve your desired ends. You have the Sun and Page of Pentacles with resurrection. So for some of you, you need to focus on your health. Eating better food, exercising, maybe getting out in nature. Maybe you need some sunshine. Maybe you need some vitamin D. But you're making plans also. For some of you, this is plans that maybe planning a vacation, or you're planning something connected to your future, or you're making plans for your child, or you're making plans to have a child. So you want to resurrect something, and perhaps this is something that you thought was dead, but you're going to try to give your best to give it new life, and there is something for you to look forward to. There's optimism, there's hope, there's confidence, there's leadership, if you're willing to step into that. Now, keep in mind that the more opportunity presents, the more challenges also await you with those opportunities. If you are promoted, it means now you're going to be supervising people. If you are, seeking an opportunity, there may be more responsibilities attached to that. So you have to be aware of what that's going to mean. But this is going to be a year where you have the possibility of connecting to people who can open doorways for you. And you also may be wielding influence yourself. You've got a strong support system of people who can give you good information, who are loving to you, who support you and your efforts. And so you're making plans. It may have to do with focusing on your education. It could be, focusing on your ambitions. You may be, reviewing whether you want to join forces with someone. And you may be reconsidering your past connections. You may be looking out there for greener pastures. What's beyond? This is good, but I want something better. So you're planting the seeds that would provide greater security, especially if you've been waiting for that, and you need to focus on that. Resurrect partnerships that connect to that. It could be maybe people that you went to school with, or people who are connected to, they have some kind of power or influence. Reconnect and reintroduce yourself to those people. Network. So this is a year to make plans to focus on the future, resurrecting partnerships that hold value for you, and not allowing your frustration or impatience or intolerance to undermine your efforts. The Sun can mean that, if something isn't moving as quickly or in the manner that you think it should, you become frustrated and you lash out at others. You find yourself in conflict. But this is about using the positive parts of the Sun. Maybe you have a strong tie to a Leo. Maybe there are plans to resurrect a relationship with a Leo person in your life. Or perhaps, use the Leo part of yourself, leadership, diplomacy, tact, confidence, and offer that to other people. Now, what is the big lesson for you, Libra, in 2020 that you should be focusing? This is the general theme that will be playing out through your relationships, the situations and circumstances that you find yourself in. You have the Magician. What a great card. So for some of you, this is going to be a year that focuses on important male figures in your life. Your husband, your brother, your boyfriend, or people who have specialized knowledge. Could be something technical, could be something medical. For some of you, maybe you're dealing with hospital patients, or you're a patient, or you're trying to recuperate. You're dealing with people who are. So you're struggling to maintain, your strength, your health, your vitality, and handle things more effectively. This is also a year that focuses on a fresh new start, driven by your own self-initiative. The number one is me. It's I, what I can do, my own abilities. And you should have the resources available to manifest. So this is a year of manifestation for you. Finding the magic in yourself, your own capabilities, your own self-reliance is going to open the door for you. You can create whatever it is that you envision. You may be dealing with higher ups. You've got a direct connection to source, whether that is divine source or people at the top who can help you. So this is about your personal ability to create, to manifest, and using the tools that you're equipped with. And what is the question that you should continually ask yourself in support of that? How can I deepen my trust right now? Okay, so this is interesting because you are struggling with changing your mind about something, some kind of fresh perspective. You're struggling with gaining some enlightenment about issues connected to trust, security, deception, where you've been self-sabotaging, where you've been deceiving yourself. And the magician says you may be coming in contact with people. There are opportunities available to you, but you may also be dealing with people who are opportunistic, liars, tricksters, cons, imposters. And, you may be playing that role yourself. So how can I deepen my trust right now? Trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety. And when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. So your sole action for the year is to let go and trust. Find your center in the chaos and be certain within yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. So, this is about really getting in touch with your shadow self, because the moon can easily be a card of projection. The things that we fear in others may just be a darker aspect of ourselves that we recognize, that we dislike, that we fear, and consequently, if we don't deal with it adequately, we will attract it in others. So your energy may come in the form of a projection. Your fears may arrive in physical form. What else supports that? Listen and learn. So your ability to observe, to listen, to change your perspective, to learn to solve problems with others rather than being so rigid and closing off, being stuck to the point of dogmatism because you have so much self-interest or you're so concerned with self-preservation. So listen and learn. This is a year where your ability grows, your knowledge base grows, your communication skills grow, particularly when you listen and learn. Also, when you listen and you hear accurately what people are saying to you rather than distorting what you're taking in, you see people clearly for who they are. So if they're not genuine, if they are imposters, if they are trying to con you, your ability to listen and tune in to the nuance of what they're saying will allow you to trust your own intuition and your judgment. So this comes down to you. How much do you trust yourself, Libra? Now your advice card is attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. So again, if you are lashing out at other people, you're striking out, there's something that you are not dealing with. Your own fears, your own insecurities, your own psychological issues that you haven't fully dealt with. Or if you're getting that, your ability to discern what's really going on is going to be helpful for you. Now, you also have the smoky mirror. Now, that's interesting because already we have the perception of looking at ourselves, but perhaps not seeing clearly. So let's see what the smoky mirror is all about. So the smoky mirror represents the aspects of what is implied, yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious causality. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche, the parts of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth, which you have with this Hanged Man and the moon. So that's a huge theme for you. Deception, whether you're deceiving others, allowing yourself to be deceived, trust issues because you're so concerned perhaps with the material, or you're struggling, or you want to protect your money or your heart, or you're dealing with people like that. When the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, you're invited to see beyond your own self. Acknowledge that, past the limits of your current ability to perceive, there is a vast interconnected world where events are orchestrated in divine order, but challenging to fully grasp. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current conditions of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated. The beauty and the darkness, the misery and the courage. No matter where you are on your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery, which you are meant to understand only through experience. Take heart, for the smoky mirror will ultimately show you beauty and wonder once the fog lifts the distortion you see now. So I love how these cards tie together, even though they're from different decks. So the Hangman is a Neptune card, and Neptune is all about fog and the illusion of something and the uncertainty. And it usually is difficult to deal with because whatever's happening is occurring before you even get a chance to deal with it. You're already in the throes of a situation. The moon is also a very strong psychic card, an intuitive card. So trusting your intuition, your psychic awareness to lead you, even though it may feel uncomfortable, you don't fully understand a circumstance, is key to your situation. Now, the underlying energy you have is the Ten of Swords. And so this is an underlying theme behind the circumstances this year. Endings. And there may be, in some form, betrayal. You may be dealing with betrayal or feel like people are talking about you behind your back. You may feel pinned to circumstances. You may feel exhausted and overwhelmed with situations. But you're going to have some revelations, some kind of new perspective. There's a change in perspective called for, some enlightenment through revelations. Could be new information, new self-awareness. It's time for you to think outside of the box, because this is also a mentality card, a victim mentality. Now, for some of you, you are actually dealing with perhaps some serious illness in yourself or others. Somebody may be recuperating, maybe in the hospital. For some of you, you may be dealing with death. But it could be the death of a situation, something that needs to close out, an ending that is positive. Because this is a card that also appears as the clouds are clearing. You are moving past a bad situation, something where you probably were long suffering. And it depends on your ability, your strength, your focus on the future, your optimism to get you through. The sun is about to rise. You're turning a corner. And it means that you're going to have to get up if you feel like you're at the very bottom and start over and dust yourself off and focus on your responsibilities. You can't quit. So something is ending. And again, maybe you're feeling like nothing is moving the way that it should. You feel at a standstill. You feel stuck. Or things begin to move so quickly that you feel overwhelmed by it all. So you're dealing with endings, revelations that bring about endings when you decide to cut off situations that are not effective, that do not support you, where you can't trust in it. Or you're also having revelations about how you are taking on this victim mentality because of a lack of trust, because of your own fears, your own insecurities. So this is a year for you to get clear on you. Again, seeing yourself, your own frailties, your own vulnerabilities, your insecurities, your shadow side of the self, and coming to terms with that so that you see yourself as a whole person, and that in not dealing with it, you don't end up having to address it as a manifestation of deception or treachery or betrayal through situations connected to others. All right, Libra, I hope you have a fantastic new year. Happy New Year in 2020, and I wish you all the best.